beauties, welcome back to my channel. So on today's video we're going to be talking about investment philosophies. So my previous video I talked about this video that I'm going to be talking about my investment philosophy and 3 more investment philosophies, right? So let's just get on with it. So the first investment philosophy, which is my investment philosophies, which I believe anyway, it's value investing. So value investors are people who look at companies or stocks that can be bought at a discount. So they target that's why you always have to do your research. So they target companies that sell at the discount, which are companies that are undervalued by the stock market. So by doing that, they always do the research and to see whenever that company is selling at a discount. So how do you know if a company is selling at a discount? It's looking at its intrinsic value, which is really the true meaning, true worth of the company, which is internal. So you're looking at the intrinsic value and looking at the price. If the price is really below the intrinsic value, that is the right time for you to buy. So value investors are always looking for that time. So when that time comes, when the stock goes down, it may be because of maybe the company is facing a dispute, or the company is just facing a backlash from customers, just from anyone. So there are really many factors that can make a company to decrease in price, even though that's not its actual worth, right? So value investors, they target for that moment, and that when that moment comes, they take it and they grab it and they run with it. That's what I always do. So they look at the margin of safety. So where is your margin of safety is this is your intrinsic value, the company intrinsic value, and this is the price when it's at a discount. So this part here, it's your margin of safety. So your margin of safety is when it's safe for you to buy, not buying at a high price but buying at a low price. That is your margin of safety. So that's what value investors always look at, and that's what they always target. So one of the successful value investors that has been successful, that has been blessing us with tips, is Benjamin Graham. So Benjamin Graham has these tips that I want to share with you guys. So he says always invest in a margin of safety. So I explained to you what margin of safety is. It's really important when you are a value investor to know what margin of safety is, right? And then he also says that expect volatility and profit from it. So how do you profit from the stock market when it's fluctuating? So he says when the stock is overpriced, that's the right time for you to sell, and when it's underpriced, that's the right time for you to buy. So you are buying at a discount. So this guy is one of the value investors who are always targeting companies that are selling at a discount. Same as Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one guy who is a value investor, and he's always targeting companies that are selling at a discount but they are really worth buying into. Companies that have a really cheap stock price, but they are not really worth buying into. So that's why it's really important for you to always look at your intrinsic value all the time. That's what I always stress about. Okay, so one of the companies that you can invest in as a value investor is one, Alibaba. Alibaba has been here for the longest time, and its stock price is going at an average pace. So it's really good company. It's actually worth buying into. And another one is Coca-Cola. Warren Buffett has invested in Coca-Cola. So that's what value investors actually do as well. They do the fundamentals, financial analysis. They look at the balance sheet of the company. They look at the income of the company, income statement. They look at all these financial analysis so that they can know if this company is actually worth buying into. So another one is Naspers. Naspers is a South African company. It's an e-commerce company as well. It's actually going at an average pace, which I really think is really worth buying into. So if you're one person who has always wanted to invest in a Naspers, so wait for Naspers to go down, and then that's the right time for you to buy. Follow Benjamin Graham's tips. They're really good. So the second investment philosophy that I want to talk about is growth investing. So growth investors are people who mainly focus on companies that have that potential to grow in the future, not like really far future, just a closer future. So they look at companies that can grow from 25 to 50%, the fastest pace you can think of. So they look at companies like that. Mostly they target companies that are really small, because they know that these companies have that potential of growing in the future, and at that time they're buying when the price is still low. But they don't really focus on the discount, buying at the discount, because some growth investors, if they see a company growing at a fastest rate, they don't care if that price is high at that time. They don't look at how the intrinsic value is looking or whatsoever. They look at if that company, they do their fundamentals and look at that company, if that company is actually gonna grow more. So they'll buy it even if it's not at a discount, even if they're not investing at a discount. They just buy it because they have they've made that research that that company is still gonna grow more. So they focus on the fact that if this company is gonna grow more, right? So that's what they look at mostly. So one of the growth investors who are successful is Peter Lynch. So he left us with these tips, investment tips that I'm gonna share with you guys. So the first one is, he says, invest in whatever that you understand. Do not look at companies that you do not look at stocks that you don't understand and then invest in them, because you gotta get in trouble because you don't know what's really happening. That's what I always say as well, that invest in everything that you understand. If you don't understand property, do not invest in property. If you don't understand commodities, do not invest in commodities. Invest in something that you understand. And then another tip is consider mutual funds. So growth investors are big with mutual funds because mutual funds really do make you money. So another tip that he left us with is understand there are gray areas. So not everything is black and white. Same as the stock market, you might find great areas where you don't really know what to do, even if you got all these tips, but you get that these tips are not gonna really work for you at that point. So understand that you can make mistakes and there can be gray areas where you don't know what you will do, right? Some of the companies that you can invest in as a growth investor, one of them is Amazon. Amazon, it's not that old, like really old companies. So Amazon is a great buy as a growth investor, but I really think as a value investor as well, you can invest in Amazon. I invested in Amazon, so it's really good. And then another one is Netflix. Netflix, God, it hasn't been here for a while, but already it's growing at a fastest pace, so it's really good as a growth investor. Another one is Google. You know, some people don't believe that I'm older than Google, so I don't know, sometimes I just feel like I'm old, but then I'll be like, nah man, dude, Google has been here like 2000 Google, so nah, I'm not gonna feel bad that I'm old or whatsoever. So another one is Uber. You know that Uber has been to study 2000 and something, so it's not that old. So Uber is one of the companies that have been growing at a fastest rate, and it's a little more like 2000, let me just say that. So one of the companies that I talked about, they're not only good for growth investors, as a value investor, as a technical, no, not just as a value investor, you can also invest in such companies, okay? Don't just say Itumele said no, Netflix is for growth investors, I'm not going to invest in it. No, you can still invest in Netflix, but wait for it to be at a discount where you can buy it at a really low price than its actual stock price, right? So yeah, you better know what you are doing. So the third investment philosophy is socially responsible investing. So socially responsible investors are investors that look at companies or stocks that that really benefit the community, that impact the community in a positive way. So they don't look at companies such as SAB, such as British American Tobacco. Like, they look at companies that are not going to affect people in a negative way, but in a good way. So what they're doing is killing two birds with one stone, which really is out of context right now, but they go for companies that are like go green, companies that are ethical, companies that are just gonna benefit the community in a good way. So Absa has another socially responsible index, also as Saso has a Kanyisa what ETF. That's some of the ETFs that you can look at, or the stocks that you can look at as someone who is a socially responsible investor. So if you know someone who's a socially responsible investor, please mention it in the comment section, because I've been looking for someone who's a socially responsible investor, but I haven't really found anything. Or maybe you are, and you can just say, this is me, I'm a socially responsible investor. So the fourth investment philosophy is technical analysis. So I was arguing with someone, we were having like a mini argument, and he said to me that technical investing is not the way to say it, it's technical analysis. So I'm just gonna say technical analysis or technical investing. So I'm not gonna talk more into what's really happening with technical investing, because it's more for people who are short-term investors, who invest in, who do trading, forex trading, day trading, whatever. It's all about the price pattern. They look at the bar charts, the line charts. They use those candles that go, you understand? So yeah, I'm not really a fan of forex trading, so I'm not really going to talk about it more, because I don't really know more about it. So those are the four investment philosophies that I wanted to talk about. If you have more investment philosophies that I didn't mention, please write it down in the comment section so that you can educate us as well. So this is a free platform. You can tell us whatever that you want to talk about, and we will learn from you. So yeah guys, that's all that I wanted to talk about. I hope that this video was really helpful for you. That's what I'm always aiming at, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.